flanked with ethics, teaching AI responsibility through games. In Dr. Taufik's own words, every AI product comes with ethical questions about bias, fairness, privacy, and accountability. Yet for many secondary students, these issues remain hidden beneath the surface of the tools they use daily. This session explores how game-based learning can help students navigate the ethics of AI in an engaging and meaningful way. Through simulations, role play, and interactive scenarios, games create safe spaces for young learners to experience dilemmas, debate choices, and understand the human consequences of technological decisions. By introducing ethics through play, educators can cultivate critical thinking, empathy, and responsible innovation, which are skills essential for humanizing education in age of AI. This is truly a relevant and powerful topic in today's educational landscape. Before we begin the session, I would like to warmly invite Sarvakas Ahmed for a short pre-session talk. Sarvakas, the floor is yours now.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Iswa, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today from different countries across the globe in the second session of Talent Quest International Series. It's really amazing to see this diverse group of teachers, educators, and students all the way from Uganda to Rwanda and Yemen and Egypt, and of course, India, Pakistan, Indonesia. So this was the diversity for which Talent Quest is thriving and struggling. And this is a space that Talent Quest wanted to provide so that different voices can meet and they can share and shape the future of education together. Before we begin formally, I would like to share something that came from your feedback in the last session. So many of you appreciated the efforts of the team. So I, on behalf of Talent Quest, really grateful to all of you. And those who suggested, I'm thankful as well to them because you really wanted us to improve growth and to be better in multiple aspects. So most of the suggestions, as I noticed when I was reading, they were about the session breakouts and to make the session more interactive. So that is something spot on. We also proposed to the speaker today earlier in the email. And but one thing I would like to share that we can do more engaging way when it is offline discussion or offline session. This is the most, I would say, the difficult challenge we have in online learning. But still, we will try to minimize that effect of online learning on the learning process that we share together. Second, it was about the video recording of the session. So we do it, but we do propose it to the speaker when he is willing. After that, we upload it and share the link with you. And regarding the materials for reading, so as we receive the material from the speakers, we share them with you. So that is what Talent Quest team do for you, and they will keep doing it and will keep you informed in the group. So Professor Dr. Taufik Slamet, I would like to request a more interactive rhythm for today on behalf of all the participants that they have proposed it in the feedback earlier in the first session. So they actually wanted to have multiple small sessions and then followed by multiple discussion or question answer sessions because they think that if it is just 60 to 70 minutes of straight discussions from the speaker, it would be like a teacher-centered classroom, so which all of us don't want. But of course, it is just a request and a suggestion from our side. We would be really happy for you to lead the session in whatever format that feels most natural and effective for you. Now, participants, let me also share something about Professor Dr. Taufik, as Ms. Iswa already introduced his work and his contribution to the field of educational technology. Uh, he is someone I personally invited to join us today. I had the opportunity to attend two of his sessions back in July, one on the technology-based perspectives of Indonesian and Malaysian teachers, and one was on the gamification in education. So I really found those sessions like deeply, just not just thoughtful, but I mean like practical and spectacle and also feasible to implement in the classrooms in real time. So it was appealing for me. So I sat with him, I discussed, and I invited him. And it was his greatness that he accepted the invitation and now he is among us. So before I invite him, I would leave two questions for you. So they might guide you through the session. The first question is, how can games or storytelling, like the digital storytelling, I mean, how can they help students understand the fairness, the biasness, and the empathy that the world needs right now? And the second question is, how can we, as teachers, I mean, how can we design learning that teach not only how to use technology, but how to use technology with responsibility and humanity. So, with these questions in mind, it's my absolute pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Taufik Ikhsan Slamet. Dr. Taufik, the stage is fully yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Wakas. And then nice to meet you again. I think I remember last time we met, it was in Malang about 2 months
Yeah.
ago, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me in these sessions. I'm really grateful to be here among all the educators across this planet. So I'm not sure what time zone is everyone at, but in Indonesia, it's gonna be good evening, maybe good morning at your place, or a good afternoon, or also good day. So yeah. So I was a little bit surprised when I heard that the format is kind of more attractive and interactive. But I was planning to have like a short lecture and open discussions. I wish I knew it would be more interactive. I would prepare better. So I apologize for this, my limitations in preparing this. So if you feel that my lecture is too long, please just cut me while I'm talking, and we can have open discussions. That should be good for me too. Okay. And then also thank you for your team in the Talent Quest. It was such amazing intention agenda. I think it's really positively impactful. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you. Yeah. I think if if I'm not mistaken, it was Miss Bibi, right? The host.
Yeah.
And also you have introduced me beautifully. But I think I'd like to introduce myself. Um, my name is Taufik Slamet. I am working as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Educational Technology, Universitas Negeri Malang, Indonesia. I just graduated from my PhD last year, about 1 year ago, from the Department of Instructional System Technology with minor in Media Arts and Science from Indiana University, Bloomington. My dissertations was about gamifications and cooperative teamwork or learning. So that's basically why the field, the stepping point of my field And recently, I am shifting, not really shifting, but kind of developing my research agenda into the intersections of instructional design, games, and sustainability in education. Sorry, not educate sustainability in education, but education for sustainability. So that's kind of three areas that my focus on right now. And when I was kind of exploring what would be a relevant theme for this webinar, I know this is very AI emphasis, especially as AI education emphasis. Then I would bring a couple of my experience about teaching ethics. Although I did not really have experience in teaching AI ethics, but I think it's quite relevant with teaching ethics for sustainability. So I would say I'm gonna try my best into kind of connecting the bridge between sustainability and AI, but hopefully I do my best. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen. Hold on a minute. Luckily, okay, hopefully it works, right? Okay, sounds good. Okay, yeah. So I believe the word of ethics is very familiar among all the participants, especially when you are dealing with social science or educations, and also the intersection between technology and society. Ethics is really big issues, right? So we are talking about how to create the interaction between human or learner with technology in a more harmonic way instead of, uh, you know, being controlled by technology, being overpowered by technology. So the ethics issue is quite uh, emerging, crucial, and essential for discussions. So what I'd like to guide you in these discussions is to answer or to elaborate these three major questions. What happened when AI goes wrong, why AI ethics education matters, and why games work so well for ethics. So the first two, I will draw from kind of empirical research in the literature databases. And the third one, the last one, why games work so well for ethics, I will draw from my experience in teaching ethics for sustainability educations. I hope that makes sense. Right. So, how many of you have heard about the term or about the issues of AI incidents? I'm not sure if it's familiar. How many of you are familiar with cases or with real life examples when AI goes wrong? Have you heard about the articles or news that says, oh, these AI tools kind of mislead, misinform, or yeah, or it goes wrong? Anyone? You can type on the chat or maybe, you know, um, speak through microphone, maybe tell the story about what did you encounter about that news, what happened when AI goes wrong. Anyone want to share some story? Oh, we have some responses in chat. A deepfake AI psychosis. Ooh, that's a difficult term. AI psychosis. Create many issues. Instagram posts with very algorithm that promote uh, yeah, promote something, right? Decision-making process. I think I've heard about webhook. Wow, that's really recently about the story of teenager about 14 years old who committed suicide because of emotionally unstable because he was too attached with AI tools, if I'm not mistaken, right? Plagiarism. Okay, that's a lot. A privacy concern. Okay, so yeah, so all of you might have heard about all this sadly news that AI led people, learner, teenagers, human uh, get like a negative consequences about AI decision making, right? So when the purpose of AI transform from assistant to decision making, that's when it becomes the problem, right? So the positions of AI is supposed to be our assistants, kind of make our work is more efficient. But when the AI is put as decision makers for our life decisions, then that's the problem. So, for example, I will bring a couple of AI incident that happen around the world. For example, this one is about visual recognition that went wrong, about identifying or about analyzing a gesture from a driver. So this man was accused of talking on the phone um, while he was only scratching his face, right? So the AI was mistakenly identifying him was speaking on the phone, and then a couple days later, the man kind of received fine because received like a ticket, right, for that misbehavior during driving. And another story when AI goes wrong is when the image recognition falsely identified a woman, a female with a couple of letters on her shirts, and the AI tools mistakenly the shirt as what do you call it, the license plate of the car. And the female in that picture was walking on the walk path on the pedestrian. And a couple days later, the woman got received a fine letter because he was accused of driving a car on the pedestrian area instead of the exact road. And this one is my favorite. This one is really my favorite because it involved a really big company, big video streaming company. You probably already familiar about Netflix when they kind of deployed their new AI art customizations. So when the poster of the movies was kind of um, how do you put it correctly, was adjusted, was customized based on user racial profiles. So imagine you don't want to watch a movie, but you know that in one movie there was like a star, like a celebrity from your country starred in that movie, and suddenly the poster kind of changed and then show the celebrity from your from our country. And then for that reason, I think I want to watch this movie because different reason because there's like an Indonesian celebrity play in that movie. So Netflix got really lawsuit for that because a couple of community in United States especially African American, Black people, Black community. They accuse Netflix of being I don't remember exactly the lawsuit name, but it was about using their profiles for the Netflix financial benefits. Yeah, the case got like that. So some movies that were starred by white actors was actually aired or promoted by using um, the actor who were not even like a 5 minute in the movie, but really fit to the descriptions of the audiences. For example, when Black community was watching that movie, the poster kind of turned to kind of something that really matched to their racial profiles. And that was a really big case between 2017 2018. I can forget specifically which year, but there was like a big lawsuit on Netflix for their AI art customizations. And I think this one is pretty much recent about a teenager who committed suicide because, well, based on the his mother's story, his son was kind of building this romantic relationship with AI tools. I forgot the name of the AI tools, but it was about maybe some of you is more familiar with this case. There was AI tools who can create like an avatar, like a virtual girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you can definitely communicate, talk with them, and then later on, this 14-year-old teenager was building really a strong emotional attachment with that avatar, and then talking about living eternally with the avatar, and then he he's he up what is it? He talked about uh how do they get together in how do they get together, and then whether taking his life was the best, was like a best way to be together with his avatar. And at the end, it was a really tragic story that the boy had committed suicide. And yeah, so um, those stories were just, like a factor, like a very small example from thousands of cases related to AI incident. So if you take a look at this interactive website, this is really good. So for those of you who haven't visited this website, it's really good resources, really up to date. It's pretty much crowdsourcing places. People or contributors are kind of reporting cases related to AI bias, AI data transparency, AI misidentifying person, those kind of failure um, caused by AI tools. They were, yeah, all the contributors are actively reporting, and then you can see you can kind of filter all the cases based on the business area that the AI tools were involved, like an education, how do you put it in English, a crime, healthcare, business, and the other areas. So it's pretty much comprehensive. Excuse me. So, oh, sorry. I just look up the chat and then just translate. So, okay, my bad. Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that was about the AI databases. So if you have some times to check it out, um, there's so many cases and the number is growing. I really like reading the part that are really related to my field that are educations. And what I found from these databases that are pretty much close to educations is these cases. So this is pretty much recent last year when in Singapore, a really reputable higher institutions, the NTU, confirmed that their three students got like a 0 mark for their assignment after the campus found that the references that these students used for their papers were fabricated. Now, the problem is that when I find myself, this is my own personal experience. Um, when I use ChatGPT, for example, to kind of explore papers, literature review, I found a couple of the outcomes were delusional outcomes, and also some of them were actually retracted paper. So those paper that were recommended by ChatGPT, when I look at the original resources like the journal homepage, and I was surprised that those papers were already retracted by the editors. So yeah, it's like trigger warning for all of us when we are seeking informations from AI tools. Just make sure to dig deeper into the original resources. And the second one is about AI grading assistance. And this one came from an AI company in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Um, this one is about a grading. I'm trying to remember the specific case of this one. I think it's about this one is grading. Oh, so the outcome of these AI tools, so the professors using these AI tools for grading students' paper, and then turned out the output that these AI tools generated was kind of irrelevant. And then the professor thought that the output of these AI tools were not really informative with good quality to improve the students' work. And the third one came from the University of Reading. And this one is a little experiments that one professor at the School of, I think it was about the social science or social work, something. Yeah, I couldn't remember specifically, but it was really interesting experiments. So this professor conducted an experiments where um, he did like a test to his students, and when the students finish the test, so he created 10 to 12 fictional students to complete the exact same test. And those tests from the actual students and also from the AI students, all those results, they were given to the examiner. And then turns out um, that the examiner was not told that there are real students and AI students. And then turned out the examiner didn't was not able to recognize which one is actual person and which one is AI generated answer. And then based on the examiner's reviews, the professor found that of the quality of answer that were AI generated was way better than the actual students. Yet the examiner was not able to identify which one the real students and which one the AI generated answer. So that kind of brings the issues of fairness and biases as well. So from those issues in education, so we can kind of conclude it, we can build these thematic conclusions that the use of AI in educations was must be questions related to the fairness, the bias, the transparency, and due process, and also the pedagogical design. I think it has been a long homework for a teacher or a professor around the world. We have been thinking about how do we design a learning assessment that really mirrors, that really reflect students' ability to think, right? Because it's really difficult this day, no matter how good quality the assessment is, when the students include AI in the process of doing the assessment, the outcome was exceptionally good. But we, as the professor, are not able um, to kind of identify the true ability, the level of comprehensions from our students. That was the problem this day. And I think from all those problems, that's why the topics of AI ethics education matters. And in fact, I remember a couple of projects that was done in my university when I did my PhD. A couple of professor was developing AI education curriculum, and part of that curriculum is related to AI ethics. So there was like a growing um, initiatives among educators in United States, and I also recently talked with a professor from Sanxi Normal University in China. They were also kind of trying to build a more comprehensive AI education curriculum by involving ethics issues in that curriculum. So I guess, yeah, this is all countries need this. All countries are kind of required to build their own AI curriculum that really include ethics issues in that curriculum. Hmm. So I think I'm gonna ask, maybe you can bring your insight into this forum. Uh, when you heard ethics, what pops in your mind at the first time? When you heard ethical practices or ethical applications, what comes in your mind at first? Or how do you define ethics in a more general concept? Okay, good. It's moral standard. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll up. We get a really good response. We get a really good flow of response here. Moral standard, confidentiality, with transparency, the proper and legal way, morality, conflict of interest. That's a really good answer. And I guess if I may say that when it comes to ethics, it's kind of problematic, right? So it's difficult. I know it's really difficult to have universal ethics where we have universal principles, a set of knowledge that was agreeable upon all the culture, right? So because we are unique, then we have our own ethics, right? But there are a couple of factors, I believe, when it comes to ethics that kind of make things easier for us to understand ethics. For example, this paper from 2015 kind of summarize or identify four core components of basic principle of ethics, from honesty to responsibility. So, and I believe all the fields, for example, in my field of educational technology, we have our own code of practices about ethical practices in educational technology. For example, one of the point in our principle is that our design must be learner centered. So whatever your tools, whatever your products of educational technology, you must put your end user or your learner as the core how do you put it, as the core designer of your products or tools. So that's kind of example of ethics in my professional fields. And I believe every field from medical, computer science, business, social works, they have their own codes of ethics, especially for professional ethics. And if we can kind of categorize them into teams, I think we can agree that these four components of ethics are kind of agreeable among of us. I think we need. Okay, this is one. Sorry, this one is from a couple of literature that I collected previously. Why teaching AI is quite challenging. The first one is AI shapes our lives. This is what I was talking about. Um, for some people or for some users, they kind of put AI as their decision makers instead of assistants, right? At some point, when I saw my students, undergraduate students, when I was giving them homework or exercise during our class meeting, the reliance on AI was inexplainable. The reliance, they really rely on the answer, whatever answer that the AI tools gave to them without any verifications, confirmations to the second resources. The dependencies to the AI was quite, yeah, it's really strong. And at some point, it makes me worried. It makes me more worried that the truth, the outcomes that AI tools generated become the sole truth of informations. And as we know, informations are not equal to truth, right? Um, so at some point, I was afraid of my students that really rely on AI as their sole resources of knowledge. And the second one is ethical literacy is often abstract. And this one, obviously, for me, it's really true that teaching ethical is quite challenging because it's not about a set of knowledge. from my experience teaching ethics in sustainability, the challenging part is about designing the learning experiences. When teaching ethics, my students or the students have to be really involved in a storytelling, in a case study, in the environment or in the learning scenario where they take part, like a role playing in that story. So in the from the perspective of instructional design, teaching ethics is not about only lecture or like students presentation. No, it's more about like a business classes where you have this case study where you play like a specific roles or stakeholders and you discuss a specific issue or AI incident in that environment. I think that's why teaching ethics, especially AI ethics, is quite challenging from the perspective of instructional designs. And the third one is kind of related to the second one. The focus of teaching ethics me in teaching ethics in sustainability, it's the focus empathy into social emotional intelligence. So this one is another level of challenges. As a professor or instructor, we need to think what kind of learning experience that are appropriate that can move that shifted um, from getting the knowledge itself into change the attitude, the social, the emotional of our learners. That's where it gets really difficult. If you've Google some literature review or empirical studies about scholars developing AI ethics curriculum, it's really easy to find because I think it's really emerging, it's really growing. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to pause a little bit because I'm going back and forth to see the chat if questions pop up. Sorry for that. Yeah, there are a couple of comments in the chat. Okay. So I think it's better maybe if you wanna bring up some issues or questions or point, something worth to discuss. I think maybe we can open mic, right? And then just, share to the group. That's way better instead of afraid if I miss that. So there are a couple of efforts from scholars and the majority of them, I have to say, it's really well, it's positive initiative, but it's really kind of a little bit makes me worried because the community or the countries who are really focused on teaching ethics about AI to their students came from, the landscape were Western dominated. East Asian also kind of take some roles on it, like in China. And unfortunately, I didn't find any, um, how do I put it correctly, like a global South countries or yeah, the population from global South countries was trying to or start the initiative to develop AI ethics curriculum. So that's kind of yeah, at the same time, there was opportunities, but also it kind of give us a little bit bigger picture that ethics discourse about ethics are Western dominated. I think this is a good time for like a global South countries kind of start the initiative in building ethics, AI ethics curriculum. Okay, this one is a couple of evidence from research. I forget this one, what country that this experiment was conducted, but the major takeaways from this research is that when students were given AI ethics training, their knowledge, their attitude, their perspective towards AI increase even for kind of during the short training, but the outcomes or the impact was visible. And I think it's really also important when we are talking about AI ethics. Uh, we're not talking only about students, but also the professor, the teacher, the instructors, both of the groups between teacher and students or professor. We have to have the same understanding about AI ethics. So yeah, I think it's really unfair, especially for me when I was giving the instruction to my students, do not use AI for this specific assignment. But in reality, I use AI tools to kind of grade their homework or giving feedback to them. It's kind of unfair, right? So I think when we are talking about AI ethics or AI educations, both group like between instructor and students, we have to have kind of the same education, the same perspective about ethics on AI, and both instructor, professor, and also students have to have kind of give equal attempt to apply ethics in their daily practices in academia, especially in academia. Right. So yeah, this is the summary of the um, those curriculum development on AI ethics. So if you take a look all these implications, you can see that by giving AI education, sorry, AI ethics training to the students and also to the faculty member, to the professors, the knowledge, the awareness about what happened beyond AI tools increase, and also it's not only about the knowledge, but the attitude from the students, from the instructor, kind of shifted to be more aware about that their utilizations of the AI is actually giving impact to themselves mentally, psychologically, and also into the society. Okay. Sure. I think we have someone raising the hand. Maybe you want to jump in and have some discussion. I can pause. I can pause and maybe,
Hello, sir. Hello.
yeah, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Uh,
100%.
my question is about that we can going through more dependency on AI tools. Like we are using AI tools day to day and more use day to day. So can we make any things to like combinedly make any things to reduce these things. Like many peoples are use it for their research, for their thesis, for their analytical papers. They are using many tools. So we are going to full dependent on these tools.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So how
wow.
we can
Yeah.
reduce it?
Oh, wow. That's really good for everyone in the room to reflect, right?
Yes.
Do you have opinion on that? Do you have alternative based on your experience? How do I kind of reduce this reliance, this dependency to AI tools? Have you ever tried some kind of approach strategies?
Now I have no strategies like to controlling these, but
Mm-hmm.
as a I'm as a peace activist. So in warfare we can uh like we don't definitely use these type of things, like they are irrational, they are not, they have not emotions or ethics to make decision on in the situation of warfare or in emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
So in my subject we can't use these type of things.
Yeah.
So how that we
Okay.
can reduce then that thing, that AI tools in the conflict studies. So also we can reduce, and also we uh, uh, make strategies to control these.
Oh, yeah. Ahmed, right?
Right,
Ahmed.
right, right. Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, thank you. That's really both conceptually important and practically important. How do we reduce that dependency, reliance on AI? I'm gonna be answering in a more political way that it takes collective awareness from across level, like the policymaker to the middleman and to the people who are on the field. For example, like in university, I'm gonna have to, if we want to create more healthy way, harmonic way in using AI in academia, we need to have more collective awareness from the president of the university to the office of education to the faculty level and to the lecturer and the students. We have to have that strong regulations. Um, that might be a wise answer, I guess. We need to have collective action, clear regulations. Maybe we can crowdsource all the answer from the folks in the room. Maybe any other perspective on that?
Yes, Professor Taufik, I would like to share something on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, last week I was in a seminar in Madlun City with school teachers. So I would like to talk on it from the teaching perspective. So there, a teacher asked this similar question to me that her students, like she complained in most simple words, I would say that she said that her students are more tactic and more skillful in the use of AI than her. So how to tackle this challenge? And also, they are more dependent on AI and they are less connected with her. So the dependency on I think like all of us, even I see some of the professors, they just upload the assignments to AI and this like even thesis, some of them they do in academia. So in the schools, like from teachers' perspective, I think we should do activities, for example, giving a task to students, asking them to write their own, and then after them, when they are done, then ask them to provide commands or prompts to AI to generate that task. So when they have both the tasks available, one from AI, one from them, then the teacher may ask them to compare both of them and find similarity, dissimilarities, positives and negatives, or pros and cons. One way is
Right.
that. The second way, I would say, like, for example, like we cannot say we can ban AI, for example, in the schools or colleges. It's impossible. So another way might be like a teacher may ask in the classroom that, hey, students, we will have an AI free day today. Like, for example, AI free Fridays, AI free Saturdays.
Wow. Mm.
So they may share some activities like for like in the form of games, sports, for example, or they just tell them that we don't need AI today. We can survive without it. Like the confidence, because the new generation think that their life is incomplete without AI. So these two things, yeah, these two things,
Incomplete.
yeah. So these two things, I personally think would help them in this way. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I think we have another Nadim.
Yeah, Mr. Nadeem,
You
please,
wanna
you may, and yeah,
let's
please.
go ahead.
Uh, Hi. First, thank you for such a wonderful presentation today. So my question from sir is, it's like opinion questions. So, do you think the use of AI in education, especially in education, reduce students' ability to think critically and maybe learn independently? So, what's your opinion about this? Thank you.
Oh wow. I just read about 2 days ago, I think it was just published at the beginning of October or September. It was not a paper, it was more like a journalistic report on from India Times. I think it's Times India, the newspaper called Times India, and they found that there was a little bit declining of learning outcomes on math and social science, right? And it's kind of really surprising outcomes. I haven't really checked the credibility of this examination, but apparently it was pretty much kind of a popular or global global assessment in India that was assessing math and social science. And they found that there was a little bit declining among, I think it's between like an eighth grade or seventh grade students on the subject of math and social science. And one of the assumptions for that cause was that, excuse me, the reliance on AI tools in looking for answer, and eventually it impact the critical thinking ability of the students. That was I just read that in newspaper, and I think yes, I think the answer is yes. And if you're familiar with the research that was published by MIT Media Lab about the effect of longitudinal use of AI tools in cognitive development measured by brain activity. It was really impressive outcomes, impressive research, impressive study. Um, it was found that the the reliance on AI apparently influenced negatively on brain development. Uh, I couldn't remember specifically the whole outcomes, the whole discussions on that paper, but it was really long paper, about 30 paper, and they specifically published like the brain scan of people who are using AI frequently and people who are using AI rarely. And it was surprising. It was shockingly surprising. That was the brain activity in people who are using AI rarely. It was more active in terms of the size of the area instead of people who are using AI very frequently. You can look up at Google, find the research. It's about the longitudinal effect of using AI on brain development or brain area, something like that. But it was definitely published by MIT scholars. Uh, maybe any other audience maybe want to have some perspective, some thoughts on that. Please feel free. For some Google can tell you everything. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's the same as student asking why go to university when Google can tell you everything. Yeah, it was such irony. Yeah. Yeah, we have someone is raising his hand. Ibrahim, Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Ahmad. Ibrahim, you wanna
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
yeah, Waalaikumsalam.
Um, According to the lecture that you delivered now, my question is, first of all, my name is Ibrahim Ali Ahmad. I'm from Nigeria. According to the lecture that you deliver now, for the student that they are having a project like a thesis or journal, there are some that they are not using the citation softwares to make the citation, references, and so on. What can you give us an advice about that? Sincerely, I think that it can affect our strategies of having experience in gathering a thesis, report, journals, because they can just copy all what they did in the project and paste it to the AI and tell the AI that please give me the reference of this. Please, I want more highlight about this.
Well, that's interesting questions. I haven't really encountered that situations. Um, yeah, how do I put it correctly? mm, yeah, I mean, I can only say that it's really it's required to double, triple check the outcomes, the references that the AI tools provide to us. No matter whether it's AI like ChatGPT or more academic nuance, academic sound AI such as Connected Paper, Perplexity, the list goes and on about the products. What I'm gonna say is that double, triple check all the references. Sometimes it's delusional, sometimes it's promoting a hidden agenda. Like, for example, I really wonder why the references that the AI tools offer to me are more like a Western centered, Western centric, right? So, what happened with the indigenous knowledge, indigenous publications from global South countries? I was working on the sustainability cases, right? The landscape of sustainability educations is definitely Western dominated. But in terms of teaching sustainability, you cannot, slide away about the cultural aspect of geographical areas, right? And when we are talking about environmental sustainability, it's not similar like what people in Indonesia are facing compared to like in Europe or in South American people are facing about the environmental issues. Uh, but when I was searching for references in sustainability, um, yeah, it's sadly that AI kind of was promoting like certain geographical areas um you know more visible than any other countries. So I'm not sure if that really answered the questions, Ibrahim. But anyway, everyone can jump in. Everyone can share their experiences. Unfortunately, I haven't really been in that specific situations, as Ibrahim said. Maybe any other perspective will do. Okay. Any other interesting or uh, something to discuss about this part of AI ethics educations before I kind of jump into some project or examples about teaching ethics? Oh yeah, Ahmed. Oh, you wanna jump
Uh,
in?
I wanna say about that question about citations and references. So
That'd be great. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to show my perspective. If anyone write their research or thesis, so he can use AI for the references and citation because it is a simple thing. If you can collect all the data from anywhere, like you don't use AI tools for the writing your research or your thesis, so you can usually use the citations or references for a if you have not enough time to complete your citation your thesis, so you can usually use a small things to do the citations and references as well as.
Mhm.
Thank you, this is my perspective.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed, and thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. I will also share something. The first thing is, uh, do not treat AI as assistant. Treat it as a partner, so it will make your things easier. The second thing is, treat it as a tool, not as a rider. It is not a rider, because as now we are discussing in the chat box, and most of us are agreeing on this point that it is affirmative. It always agree with you. So if it always agree with you and it agrees with you on the research matters, just imagine it is pushing you towards distractions. So it does not have that thinking capacity as we human do. So do not take it as a researcher, as a writer. It is generative AI and it is a language model. Yeah, of course, the prompts that we provide really matters. And secondly, the references or the citations that you are searching for, it will always fake them. Though I have personally seen some improvement in ChatGPT or Kiwi or the Gemini now, like you even now with the Gemini, you can chat in the video call and show everything, and it can read from that video as well. But when it comes to the real time actual DOIs or the references, it sometimes or always fakes it. So the short answer could be use it as a tool, not as a rider, not as a researcher. Do the stuffs that makes you a researcher, because research is something that will give you a tough time if you are just searching for shortcuts, so it will not be that impactful. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of old-fashioned person, so I write I use Zotero for creating my references automatically, but I double check. But when it comes to AI tools, when they offer me paper, I'm gonna continue checking whether this paper exists. And I think, as I mentioned, one of the surprisingly event was that when I found the paper that was offered by ChatGPT that time, it was already retracted by the journal editor. So yeah, just double check the exact resources of the journal. That was my practical advice thing. So yeah, I think if you don't mind, I'm gonna continue to I'm not gonna say it's fully related to teaching AI ethics educations, but maybe it can give you a little bit, I don't want to say inspire because it's too heavy, a little bit, piece what I've done in my recent months. And I was kind of proud of it because I was doing this project in a very rural areas of East Java province. It's located in Java Island, and I was doing this project called DC Goes Rural. DC means digital citizenship. So digital citizenship, maybe some of you or all of you are familiar. Digital citizenship is about a set of knowledge that teaches us how to navigate digital world. Like so, in digital citizenship, we study about healthy habit in using internet. We learn about privacy and safety. We learn about communications and relationship, hoax and sorry, hate speech and cyberbullying, and also themes like information literacy, like how to identify fake news and factual news. So those are digital literacies. And it gets interesting because um, my project was done in rural, in a school. Actually, it's in a high school. It's in secondary education institutions. It's in a high school that was located in rural areas of East Java province. And what makes it more interesting because we kind of use game-based approach in teaching this subject. It's not me. That's not just, it's just example. That's not me. So, okay. Um, we use a small part of ethics in using technology in that projects. And as you can see in that picture, we use more like traditional physical materials in terms of delivering our content. You can see like the wooden box, the printed materials. We did this in purpose because the geographical profile of the school was not only remote, but in terms of electricity, internet connectivity, they have a little bit problem on those aspects. So we thought that it's going to be interesting to teach them, not really to teach, but to introduce them with digital citizenship with a more traditional and tangible tools for learning. That's why we came with this wooden box and printed materials. So in that picture, it was actually a game called Breakout Box. Maybe some of you have heard about Breakout Box. It's a game-based activity where the participants kind of looking for clue on riddles and then find like a lock combination, number combinations to unlock the wooden box. That's how you do it. So on the third point, you can see the digital citizenship. We have content like a healthy habits, digital footprints, and then to information literacy. So those are the content, and then we deliver this content in with the game-based activity. We were also talking about the ethical use of technology uh, to be more like a healthy habits. Yeah, we built some of activities like a printed card, where the participants are um, looking for clues on that card. Right? And yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but the game goes like this. We use like a UV lights. We wrote like a hidden number on the paper. So they need to learn, so they need to find the hidden letter to kind of unlock the locks on the wooden box. Excuse me. So you can see the participants was successfully cracked the code and then unlocked the box. And when they were successful in unlocking the box, they will find another um, kind of story to unlock the next box. So, and those are the teachers of that schools. And we were hoping that by teaching or by introducing the teachers about digital citizenship, about the ethical use of internet and technology through this game-based learning, we were hoping that this teacher will become like the agent to teach the students in the future about digital citizenship through game-based learning. So that's the idea of, instead of teaching the students about digital citizenship, we thought that it's better to prepare the teacher itself to learn about digital citizenship. And based on their comments on that activities, we kind of this is not really like the outcomes of that analysis, but we were doing like this random interview to the teachers, and we found that the game is kind of safe spaces for taking risks, which is really important for learning. I think when people are given like a safe space for learn, they tend to be more creative. They tend to be more curious about the learning content. And also, the game creates emotional engagement between player. They were communicating, they were interacting actively. They were building this collaborative skills, communications, and any other social skill aspect. And then, yeah, it was fun. It was pretty much social learning. What I love about the game-based learning is that it brings discussions among the learners, which is really important for ethical issues. So I remember a couple of papers that were exploring about teaching ethics in sustainability was that the one of the most important factor in teaching ethics, any other discipline, in any other discipline, as business, medical, healthcare, economy, educations, one of the most important aspect of teaching ethics in any other field is about to build dialogue among the learner. So there has to be what do you call it? Like a dialogic learning. That it's called dialogic learning, if I'm not mistaken. You can look at Google and make sure if it's correct. It's dialogic learning. In teaching ethics, make sure there will be dialogue between the learner. And in teaching ethics, I think I mentioned that we need to bring to the classroom the story, right? The important story about the ethics. For example, I'm doing right now about uh, game-based learning. It's about a non-digital game board, but we are exploring stories about teaching ethics. And one of the alternative is that we are interested to teach AI ethics by bringing stories about the the environmental impact on data centers that are built for AI companies. So if you read a new report from MIT scholars, I think it was in magazine MIT Technology or something, MIT Review magazine, they published this report about the environmental impact on building AI data centers across America. So what I read in that paper is that one data center of AI company requires electrical power equals to one state in the United States. So imagine if one company has 5 data centers, if just one companies and one data center manufacturer requires a power equals to one state uh, consume in 1 month or 1 year. I forget the complete story about that informations. What environmental consequences will it take to build so many data centers? I think that's really good story for to bring um, in the discussions of AI ethics. So yeah, that's just one alternative. I think it's really good to bring that story and then connect them with the environmental sustainability, AI ethics, and how we use AI on daily basis apparently influence the environment. So that's the big takeaway on that one. And I guess one of the alternative you can use also with the to teach AI ethics is by doing digital project-based learning, like a teachable machine from Google or Google Doodle or Google Draw, right? So those tools are quite feasible to teach students about how how algorithm influence the outcomes of AI tools, right? How bias can be can exist in the algorithm designs. So this is really something I love about this tools, Google Teachable Machine, because I can introduce to children or school children, elementary children about how databases can influence the outcomes of AI tools. This is kind of more practical to show how a set of data can influence the outcomes. So yeah, I guess the what I like to tell to the audience today, I think this is what I learned about teaching ethics in sustainability, but also tied with AI ethics. I think the first one would be it's better to teach ethics on the very early ages. So, for example, if you're really interested in teaching ethics to elementary school students, for example, I think it's really good initiative. It's um, it's really how do you put it? Um, yeah, children in elementary school level, they start to use AI, right? They start to expose themselves to AI. So I guess it's really better to teach them in a earlier about the ethics of using AI. And also, I have a problem also with the teachers' readiness in teaching AI. So I guess when we are teaching students about AI ethics, we need also to equip teachers with the skills, knowledge about AI ethics. Well, yeah, I think Usman, maybe you wanna jump in and share your thoughts. I think I saw someone raising the hand.
Yeah, I have unmuted him. Let me.
Oh, okay. Oh, is it? Does he want to join or?
I don't know. I unmuted
Okay,
him.
I
Yeah.
was waiting.
Yeah.
Is it on the chat?
I don't know. You may just proceed, and if he is here, he will ask. He's in.
Okay. Okay. I think yeah. So I believe there are a couple. There's study I can share with you, Wakos, about there was just a recent publication around about 2022 or 2024. So this paper kind of summarized AI ethics education framework and also AI ethics curriculum. So the author kind of provide uh, the framework to develop AI ethics educations. It's kind of related to the resource you share from the UNESCO. And this paper also consists resources from UNESCO and also from other scholars who were developing AI ethics educations. And maybe I can share it to you, and then you can distribute it to the audience. I can do it in a minute, in 1 minute, I guess. So let me find the reference and share to everybody in the room. I think I have it already. There you go. Yep, got it. So in this paper, you can see a variety of AI ethics education curriculum, including the one that UNESCO created. Okay, and then when you're interested in developing your own AI ethics education curriculum, maybe this paper will be so beneficial. I'm gonna put the references on the chat. There you go. Oh, it's 2021. Yeah, it's pretty classic uh, paper.
Okay, I will download the paper and I will share it in the Google Drive link with all the participants.
Great. Yeah.
And sure. Springer, yeah.
Um, and also the one that I was talking about, the databases for AI incident. I think it's important, but not sure if you're interested in that, but I think this is a kind of convenient resources. If you're interested in terms of AI incident across across discipline, like in healthcare business. This is really informative databases for that one. Okay. Okay, let's open to the discussions. Maybe one more round, I guess. Is it do we still have time to do that, or
Yes, we do.
is it already Tiffany?
Yeah, we do have time if anyone want to share something or ask something.
And maybe folks from computer sciences are already familiar with this kind of resources. I'm gonna throw some resources about how do you put it, like teaching ethics, teaching AI ethics. So these resources are pretty much informative and can help you to teach ethics on AI. And I'm gonna put this database consists of many framework of AI ethics educations. We actually have so many questions in the chat box. Do you wanna walk through on that, Wakos?
Yes, sure. Should I read aloud the question for you, or what do you mean?
Okay, I think I can do that. So the newest questions is it about, is it possible to measure from Niba? Niba asks, is it possible to measure a student's capacity for ethical reasoning and responsible actions as opposed to just their knowledge of concept? Wow, that's really tough one. Is it possible to measure students' capacity for ethical reasonings? I'm afraid I haven't found any relevant paper that address that questions. Ethical reasoning, especially about the ethical reasoning, and responsible actions. But so far, is that what I learned about measuring ethics in sustainability behavior, it is possible. It is possible to measure students' awareness, students' knowledge about environmentally how do I put it correctly? It's possible to measure their knowledge about environmental awareness, and it's possible to measure their attitude toward environmental awareness. And also, it's possible to measure their action, their behavior toward environmental awareness. Those three aspects are possible, but I haven't found any relevant reading about the ethical reasonings of uh, responsible actions. I think walk us through some papers. You wanna give some insight from that paper?
Yeah, actually, I was also like my research is also on AI and these issues, as you're working on multiple projects in the solo city schools. So these issues are always there. So it was an article. It's not talking like fully on the conceptual measurement of the students, but their developmental capacity of the like thinking, critical thinking and creative thinking. So I read this paper 2 weeks ago, and we don't have just the thing that we can directly measure someone ethical standard who, no matter it's the student or teachers. So this paper doesn't say that this is something we can quantify. Like it is, when we talk about the comparison of human mind and AI, we always say it cannot think like human. So at the same time, when it comes to ethical concepts or ethical thinking or ethical standards, again, it says it is not something that we can quantify. There is no number. You cannot number a student that this student will get a 7 out of 10 when it comes to ethical standards while handling AI. And secondly, the paper talks about the values of a student, the background of a student, whether it is political, social, or educational background, and also for example, empathy, we will take as one of the element of the values with which we grow up, and also the situational awareness. So you can measure these things, like how much empathetic he is, how much situational awareness a student holds when it comes to tackling with the problems in learning. And also, it talks about 4 different categories. For example, the reasoning process of a student when you give them a task. So how do they handle it? So the reasoning process, the perspective taking, then how do they take perspective after they have thought about it? And also how consistent they are when they take something ethically or unbiased process. And also the most important thing that this paper shares is the reflective growth. For example, I know what is inside the paper. I know what is inside this book, but do I really know how to apply this into my life or into what this book has been written on? So that is called reflective growth according to this. So these are some points that this paper comments on, that you cannot directly put a mark or a number on students' ethical standards, but rather you have some different values which you can take and study in someone's personality. And the last thing, I might be wrong when it comes to strong memory about that paper. It's been 2 weeks when I read it. And yeah, of course, I did not read the paper like we read papers in academia in our own research topics. So the last thing that it mentions, it gives you some questions alongside those elements, like what I said, the values, I mean. For example, the integrity, how much autonomous a student is, not how much dependent. So you can find the answer to this question. How much respect a student holds towards the perspectives generated by AI, and how much accountability their student has in his minds when it comes to the choices of AI and the choices of other teammates or the peers or the classmates, I mean. So this is something, I'm sorry if I took a bit longer. Thank you so much.
That's great. Ahmad, you wanna jump in?
My question is related to Sarwakas Ahmed about his research paper. It's maybe a little bit futuristic because when AI is going toward the advanced era, so I think it's may have their own ethics. Like they can decide what can wrong or what can be bad. What I'm saying, can you understand that statement, sir? Hello?
I'm sorry, I was muted. You mean that we cannot rely too much on AI because at the end of the day, like we might see a time when AI will decide what is wrong and right. Is it your question?
Means the AI, if we are going towards like futuristic, so AI can have their own ethics. Like they can decide what are the goods and what are the bads. So they have their own, like many scientists and thinkers and technologists says that in the future AI have like emotions, feelings. So if someone have feeling, that they have their own ethics, so they can decide good or bad. So why we can why we can teach the AI ethics, why we should learn about the AI ethics.
I'm sorry, I will try to rephrase or articulate on your question. Your question is about the moral wisdom of AI, right?
Yeah,
Like, we might see a time when AI will decide what is called correct and what is called wrong.
yeah, it's my right, it's the right phrase, but my English is that a bit
No, it's
That's
okay. English is not
that's
something that we can go
yeah,
after.
sir, you can correct with a correct
So,
phrase.
okay. So if that is the question, I can share two things about it. One is like the moral wisdom that we can feel or think.
Yeah,
AI cannot do the same. It only work on numbers. I would again say it does not have the values standard or the feeling or emotions. So we cannot see a time, or even if AI is fully sophisticated, for instance, I mean, it cannot have that kind of power that it will decide what is good or bad, because AI is not something independent. For example, I will give you a simple example. If now have you heard about the DeepSeek?
yeah, deep seek,
Yeah.
I know that.
If you ask about the Tianjin Square, what happened in that, it will never answer you correct information. If you ask ChatGPT about Palestine and Israel issue, it will never provide you an unbiased and clear answer. Why? Because we should look at the thing that from where these AIs have been generated, like who have made them. So whoever have made them, they have instructed them accordingly, and now they are acting like that. As Dr. Taufik earlier said, that it holds Western narrative. It does not care about Asia, for example, if it is
Yeah,
from Western area. So now who feeds it? AI speaks that. And second thing is about the wrongness or correctness problem. So, like, according to you, it will decide what is good and what is bad. Uh, do you know, like, the sense of being wrong and the sense of being correct demands demands something that has life, that can feel, and that have emotions. It is
yeah,
my perspective. And I think AI cannot have that. So the conclusion could be it totally acts on your prompts. What kind of prompts you provide, it will always act upon that because you are treating it like that. So if you provide prompts which doesn't have any question like WH question, it will always be affirmative. It will always be agreeing with what you say, what you think. And now we saw this case like yesterday I was reading about a person who got some specific kind of disease. I don't know the specific name of that disorder or disease because he took the suggestions from ChatGPT to design my meals without salt. So he developed
oh,
certain kind of problem. And
wow.
AI does not tell him that without salt you may have this problem, but rather just enforce what that guy thought about. So when you ask it, you should apply WH questions, you should challenge it. And when you share something, you may ask this like, challenge my ideas, do not just agree with it. So it will provide you with two perspectives, one for it and one against it. So that was my turn on it. And if there is anyone who also want to share, we will love to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess for the level of higher education's students in undergraduate or graduate schools, the ethical discussions about AI also covers about power relations, about this big companies, about this surveillance capitalizations. Uh, because it's inevitable that there's a power discourse in terms of the design of algorithm beyond the AI. So I guess it's really important to discuss to the undergraduate or graduate level about AI ethics, especially about power relations that is embedded in the AI machine. That's really important. Yeah. Yeah, maybe any other issues anyone want to bring up? I think there are a couple of questions in the chat box. Oh, has anyone ever used AI to write personal statements, study of plans, state of motivations for their scholarship? You did, Wakas, you tried before?
Yeah,
How is it? How's that different comparing your own original draft and your AI generated versions about your motivational letter? How do they differ? That's pretty
actually,
interesting.
uh, I I wrote my first motivational letter for Bangkok when I got selected over there as well. So after that, when AI came in 2022, I then generated another one, and I gave a very lengthy prompt. But what I got linguistically or in terms of language, it was really perfect. The cohesion or coherence in the language was perfect. But there was something that was missing, and that was the natural feel. It doesn't sound like it is a story of someone who is a real human. Like it was something from a supernatural world. And now, like,
Oh,
and now when I guide Pakistani students for scholarships, so nearly every day I read 2 to 3 SOPs and 2 to 3 CVs. So I mostly find this mistake when I just look at the paragraph, 2 to 3 sentences. I just realize that this is not human writing, and I just ask him that please write your own. So this is, and I think from the Seattle University in the US 2 years ago, they blacklisted a guy because he used ChatGPT for SOP. So it is also
right.
not just to be responsible citizen to use AI ethically, but also to be academically accepted. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, a couple of sponsor are, you know, they forbid the applicants from using AI to write letter of purposes, statement letter. They really hate when the participants use AI because um, it it doesn't sound yeah pretty much like a human. There was the absence of natural sound from the statement of letter. I I never use AI for writing my statement of purpose because I think the last time I wrote my letter of statement, it was in 2017, and it was not quite popular about AI when I applied for my scholarship to do the PhD. It was more like a brain dumping, and then an iterations of revisions. That's the messy process. Uh, I will be laughing if I take a look my motivation letter and how silly I sound. And then if I change that to put that into Chat GPT and make them perfect, and I would say I like the original better, I guess, even though I sound silly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and also there is a trick. Some of the students also use that trick, and that is, for example, we have different writers, like the literature writers in every language, for example. So if I want to generate my SOP, I may ask ChatGPT to write this in the language style of Bertrand Russell or George Orwell. So it will copy the writing style of that author from, for example, 100 years ago, and it will write your SOP in that style. But the problem is, like, the vocabulary used by that author in the essays or in the novels might not be perfect or suitable for what you want to convey. So
right.
one loophole is covered, but there is another loophole came into your way. So if you use AI like as a writer, at the end of the day, you will get frustrated again and again. So if you use it as a tool and as a helpful partner, you will get benefited.
Since you bring up George Orwell, I was reminded by this AI failure in detecting the originality of Hamlet by Shakespeare. So there was one tool failed that no, these tools identified that Hamlet was written by AI like tools. And then it was such a yeah, it was really surprising that was Shakespeare a real person or was it an AI? It was no, it was just jokingly discussions because the AI failed to identify the writer of Hamlet, and they thought it was AI generated story, but the Hamlet. Yeah.
And yes, one thing I would like to share about the plagiarism and the Turnitin detection of the AI generated material. The first thing is, like, for example, I copy a complete paragraph from Professor Taufik article, and I rephrase it in my own words, and then I submit it. So Turnitin will say it has 0% plagiarism.
Oh wow.
Right.
Wow.
Because I have rephrased it by my own words, but the reality is it is 100% plagiarized still. Why? Because the idea is not mine. It is from Professor Tawfiq article, and it is his idea. So Turnitin is also an AI. It cannot detect plagiarism. It just detects the similarity index. The real plagiarism
Right.
will be decided by the committee members or the teachers. So that is a loophole in Turnitin as well. And second thing,
Exactly.
yeah, it detects the language style. If it is too perfect, it calls it AI. That is why Turnitin now allows 20% of the AI content in the papers or articles. So someone commented that you can use a humanizing software through which you can humanize the AI generated writing and you can submit to Turnitin. Again, I will say the humanizer software that you use is also an AI. It is not something else. There is no human behind that ad that you submit and it will refresh for you and send it to you. It is also an AI that does your work. And thirdly, even if it breaks the AI's flow, the AI's style flow to something unnatural, for example, and now Jonathan will say, okay, this is human because it does not have perfect flow. Again, it will lack the novelty in idea because producing something with a different language and different words is not something new or something innovated. you need something new in ideas, not in words.
Mhm. See? Yeah, I mean, it's only a real person who can really identify the similarities level between like a manuscript, right? AI only identifies the pattern, the vocabularies, and they just decided. Yeah, it just reminds me that we cannot really rely on AI for decision making skills. We can use it as an assistant, but in terms of decision making, I don't think right now the capacity of AI has reached at that point. Yes. Oh, there's so many questions about using AI in academia, like plagiarism, similarities, grading. Oh, I don't think we have time to address all those questions. You might want to choose a couple from them, I guess.
I think the last two questions would be better.
Sure, yeah. Are we becoming more dependent on the West if we just rely on AI in every field? For example, the educational requirement for our student may be different from the West, and AI will deal with them like Western students. Oh, this is really interesting. I think I heard about one educational tools. Uh, I cannot really say the name of the product, but it was definitely made by a United States company. It was really major companies. Uh, some people on the people of color, when I was referring to people of color, I think that's the exact term to express this group. The people of color, um, how do I put it correctly? So they did this little experiments to test whether um, these apps uh, differs in terms of helping students from certain racial groups in that schools, and the results was actually surprising. It was actually a specific group of people are more capable in learning through these apps compared to other racial groups of students. Well, that was still debatable because it was not really like a massive experiment. It was only in one school, but it opens discussions that whether the algorithm beyond these educational tools tend to support more the way specific racial group learn instead of facilitating all the students. I think when we are being asked whether we are more dependent on the West if we just rely on AI in every field, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna have to say yes because the major Fortune business companies on AI are in the Western, they tend to have more priority in terms of data collections, databases, and well, they tend to be more biased to other racial groups of ethnicity. I think that's my thoughts. Maybe other want to jump in on that one. Do we depend on Western more? Ahmad, you wanna uh, share your thoughts on that one?
Uh, According to me, I'm as a peace student. So my question is about that there is a company in the United States with the name of Palantir or something, which analyze the data, collecting all data from the world and make decision making like. So it helped to the US to providing but what happening in Iran's they are striking the atomic spots of the Irans and all in the Venezuela. So Palantir is a company in US, so which can provide like many data to the US government to target at some places, and it is based on AI. So how can we see these things in the future? It's not related to this that topic, but it's an optional question if you can answer or not.
Wow, that's a geopolitical questions. I'm not sure I'm able to
It's
address that
related to
one.
my field, that's why
Yeah.
I just asked that.
Yeah, maybe some folks who are more familiar about yeah, that issue can share thoughts.
Yeah.
This one may be a kind of related, relevant question, which is from Dr. Juneda. Which is your favorite storytelling tool for teaching ethics? Favorite storytelling tools for teaching ethics? I'm gonna have to say Moral Machine. So this is from my experience. Moral Machine is kind of comprehensive website. I think I put that on the. I'm not sure if anyone has visited this website. It's quite comprehensive. It's really nice. You see, this is the moral machines, and it's pretty much interactive because the one that I like about this website is that it's a crowdsourcing. So it it's how do I put it? It's a really good case study on how AI make decisions. Okay. So this is the crowdsourcing. So this website is asking lots of participants their morality in this very critical events, right? So you are given two conditions. The first one is this in these conditions, um, the AI driving assistant has failed, right? And there are two situations. The first one is the car goes straight and hit the person that is crossing. Whether this is the red light, you cannot cross on the red light. Or the second part, the car will kind of shift it to the left and cross the barrier here. So the person who's crossing, whether this is the red light, it's safe. So yeah, this is very it's it's a dilemma, right? Morally dilemma. You wanna straight hit the person who is illegally crossing, or you wanna hit the barrier, but the driver will be yeah, injured badly in the scenario. So it's your choice. And the story, the complexity is getting more difficult in terms of morally. So that's why I like this moral machine. It gives like a real scenario, real life events, and in a very short moment of time, you have to make decisions about these particular situations. You can see here the car consists of 5 people, and then the car is failing. It goes straight, and there are some people who are crossing, but it's red light, right? The situation is really complex. So, what do you think the car should do? Do they go straight, or the second scenario, they kind of shifted to the left, hit the barrier, kill 5 people inside the car, but the 3 people who are crossing are safe. So this is the moral dilemma, and also in the moral machines. And also in this website, you can find, sorry, oops, my bad. Um, sorry, it's not. You have, hold on. I think you have more alternatives, such as it's not only simulations, but it offers like a story, cartoon, like this. So it's quite convenient to be used for like in children to teach about moral and ethics about AI. Right? And this one is, yeah, this is my favorite. I don't know if any other folks have resources to share. Oh no, it's moral machine, not moral machine. It's quite smart. I'm not sure if you can make your own scenarios. Yeah, I don't think it's feasible. Yeah. Oh, I think it's already 10. I'm not sure if anyone wanna you know end the sessions. It's up to you, Wakas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Taufik, for your time and your energy at this time and your very busy schedule. I obviously know that you spent a lot of time and came to our webinar and this international course. So I, on behalf of Talent Quest and the team, really thankful to you. And we are not going to leave you here. In the future, we will again invite you and we'll bless ourselves with your insights and wisdom again. So thank you very much again. And I would request that we want to upload this recording to YouTube if you permit.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And regarding the PowerPoint, if you would like to share the public version, we would be really thankful. But if you prefer not to, it's completely on yours. So thank you again.
Yeah, I can take out the pictures and send it to you, the PDF format.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, Ms. Iswa, kindly proceed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tawfiq. This was such an insightful session. Your words have truly left us, actually left me reflective. Today's session was literally a powerful reminder that how deeply AI is actually affecting our lives. So before we officially close, I have a few quick announcements for you all. First of all, I kindly request everyone to turn on your cameras so I can take the screenshot as a group photo. Let me take. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope all of you have already marked your attendance as well. Our next session will be with Dr. Abedullah. He is an assistant professor at the University of Wa, and it will be on 16th of October from 8 to 10 p.m. Western Indonesian time, 6 to 8 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time, and 3 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. So I hope all of you will join there as well. So I'm gonna close it formally. On the behalf of Talent Quest management team, I'd like to express heartfelt thanks to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Taufik Ikhsan Slamet, to Sarwakas Ahmed, and to each one of you being part of the session and for such active participation. Your energy, curiosity, and engagement is going to make this program a success, inshallah. We look forward to seeing you all in the next session. This is Iswa signing off. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead.